pastry chef here in Chicago. We are doing a series of cooking videos that are simple and fun for the whole family, so get ready to get your hands dirty. Today we're making mandle bread. Mandle bread is a traditional Jewish cookie. It's twice baked, similar to the Italian biscotti. Mandle bread is generally made with oil instead of butter so that it's parve, but I really enjoy the taste of butter, so today we're going to use butter. Mandle literally means almond in Yiddish, so traditionally it's also made with just almonds. I, however, think, why stick to one nut? I have accumulated an assortment of things that I found in my pantry: cashews, dates, and my favorite, chocolate. We will experiment with putting all these fun things in our mandle bread today. You can separate your dough into many portions and have each family member select what they want to put in their mandle bread. First things first, I like to scale out all of my ingredients so everything is ready to go. Everything has its own little vessel, and then this way it keeps the cleanup process easy, it keeps your kitchen nice and tidy, and it makes the baking process super efficient. I enjoy using a digital scale. Everything is scaled to the gram. We like to do this at the restaurant so that everything is very consistent. However, I understand that as a home baker, you may only have cups and teaspoons. That being said, I have converted the recipe for you into cups and teaspoons and also provided it in grams so you can make your selection and choose whichever is convenient for you. First, we have flour. There are 300 grams of flour that I've also mixed with the other dry ingredients. 300 grams comes out to about 2 cups. I've included 2 pinches of salt, the 5 grams of baking powder, which is also 1 heaping teaspoon, and a sprinkle of cinnamon, but feel free to use any spice that you prefer. Next we have the sugar. It's about exactly 1 cup of sugar, or 200 grams. 2 eggs to be exact, and I just do a little splash of vanilla, but you can put more or less depending on if you like vanilla. And lastly, the most important and the most delicious ingredient, the butter. 125 grams of butter, or 1 stick of butter plus 1 tablespoon. Let's start making. First things first, this is my nifty KitchenAid tool. I really enjoy using it, but you don't have to. You can mix it by hand. First, we'll start with the butter. It goes in, and then you add the sugar. This is called creamy method. Essentially what you're gonna do is you're going to paddle your butter and your sugar and emulsify it until it's nice and fluffy. This usually takes a couple of minutes. I like to do about medium speed. Once your sugar and your your sugar and your butter are nice and fluffy, then you start to add your eggs. This is also called emulsification. It's when you add 2 fats together, the butter and the eggs. I like to do one at a time and make sure it gets mixed in really well before I add the other one. Lastly, we're going to add the flour. I would recommend stopping your mixer at this point, scraping the ingredients so everything is really well meshed, and then adding your flour with the mixer turned off. Trust me, I've made the mistake of just dumping it in and then poof, flour goes everywhere. So we're gonna stop, scrape, and then we're gonna add the flour. Just dump it all in. This is very important. You wanna babysit your dough. You want to make sure that as the flour starts to stick to the butter, that as soon as it comes together, you turn your mixer off. At this point, we don't want to overmix, which causes a tough cookie as opposed to a flaky, tender dough. This is what you want it to look like. Now let's pick our mixing. I'm going to choose chocolate because I love chocolate. And I will continue mixing this by hand as to not overmix. This is a fun project for the kids to do. They might try to sneak in some dough snacks. You can feel the dough mixing with the chocolate as it comes together. And this also, like I said, prevents from overmixing the dough. And we're done. Now we're going to wrap our dough in plastic and let it chill in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. This helps relax the gluten. The gluten is what's found in flour, also creating a nice, flaky, tender dough as opposed to like a really hard, tough cookie. Hey, so it's been about 20-30 minutes. I wrapped my block of dough in plastic wrap in the shape that we are going to portion it in just for easier purposes. At this point, you can cut it in multiple pieces and give each family member a piece to roll on their own. That's kind of fun. And then depending on the size that you cut it will be the size of your final product. So, for example, if I cut my mandle bread this way and then roll them out in a skinny log, when you press it down, you'll have baby mandle bread. I'm gonna make mine a little chunky, so I'm gonna cut my dough in half this way, and then I'm going to roll this out to a medium size so that when we cut them, they'll be about that big. So here you go. You're going to shape your dough, which is nice and firm now, into a log. And you do this just by like pressing your hand and rolling a little bit. The warmth from your body will warm the butter, and it'll make the dough a little bit easier to work with. So I'm just pushing and rolling. And when you've obtained the size that you want, then you'll just flatten it out. You can also, for streamline purposes, bake your mandle bread in a loaf pan. Then just take it out of the loaf pan, slice it, and then we'll toss it in cinnamon sugar and bake it as such. So this is the size that I've chosen. It's about medium. And I'll put it on my sheet pan. I've chosen to use a Silpat, which is like a rubber non-stick material that is washable, so you can use it multiple times, but you can also choose to use parchment paper or wax paper. So now we're just going to gently press. Keep in mind that once they're baked, they'll get a little bit bigger, they'll expand. You can use the palm of your hand or you can use your fingers to gently press. So we're gonna do that again, unless of course you want baby mandle bread. It's been about 25 minutes. This is what you wanna look for. There's a little bit of golden color on your mandle bread. Like I said, every oven is different and mine runs a little bit hot. So depending on your oven, yours might bake for less or more time, but you always want to look for a little bit of color. So now we're going to slice them. I like to get them on a cutting board just for easy cleanup purposes, and you're going to cut them on like a slight angle. So each piece will look like such. And once I portion them, then I like to toss them in a little bit of cinnamon sugar. Lay them on their side, and then we'll pop them back in the oven for 5 to 10 minutes to re-crisp up. These little ends right here make for great snacking while you wait for your mandle bread to bake. So we'll take these bad boys, throw them in here. I do a few at a time. And then you'll lay them on their side like such. I chose cinnamon, but you, like I said, you can choose cardamom or any spice, really. Hey, thanks for being here today. It was super fun baking with all of you. I'm Chef Nikki. Can't wait till next time. Shabbat Shalom.